All right, it ain't nothing special, just having a good time right here. I want to take just a minute to thank everyone for watching another live stream Christian Painter's YouTube video. See what I'm talking about? I come prepared. I have colors this evening. That's right. We have colors to look at, including Sherwin-Williams November color of the month for 2022. Does anybody know that color? Do you want to take a guess? Or do you want to take a look? Look it up over there on Google and post it here in the live chat. How about that? I'm kind of just playing around, having a good time, as you can tell. I have been waiting to improve my studio to do this. It's very important to me that when I do something, I do it with a certain amount of excellence. You know, that's how I've always operated. So there it is. Which one of those colors featured in the picture there do you think are Sherwin-Williams November color of the month for 2022? Yes, I have blue paint. I'm looking at the monitor over here. It's hard. I am using my phone to make this video. That's what I mean by update my YouTube. Update my studio. I need to update my studio because I've been using my phone. Heck, I built this entire Christian Painters on a telephone. This entire Christian Painters YouTube and Facebook on a multitude of telephones. All right, so there it is. It's that green. Look at that lively, lively green there. It's basil. Sherwin-Williams basil is the color of the month for November. The numbers on that are just too hard for me to read. Tell you what, we'll put it up here. I'll check the monitor and see if I can read it on the monitor. Come on, hold it still, Rick. Okay, can I read it on the monitor? It looks like I will be able to. 6. There you go. So that's it. Sherwin-Williams color of the month. And what I did was just go look at a lot of colors. Now, I'm familiar with this process because I've been doing this a long time, right? Like it or not, that's what I've been doing for the last 25 years of my life, is painting houses. And I'm trying to make sure that I find the actual angle of this camera so that these paint chips are in the camera. And the reason why is because what I did, other than put some blue paint on my fingernail, I had no idea that was there. I'll remove it here in a minute just because it's kind of throwing off the picture, isn't it? But colors flow by likeness. And that's what you see over here on this side. Let's see here if I got this right. Back out. It's so funny because I'm literally looking at my monitor here. Okay, so is it this side? This is the side with the red. So that red is sun-dried tomato. That green is basil. And then you have your neutral colors over here. So all of these colors flow by likeness, correct? Neutral colors by likeness. You normally do not contrast neutral colors unless you're doing something pretty wild, like say in a utility room or bathrooms, things like that. But ordinarily, you stick with the same family of neutral colors. Sometimes I have to switch up those neutral colors because the family changes a little bit, and the way that light affects the colors, and especially exterior colors, for all of those reasons, sometimes I do have to switch over a family to keep you in the same family of colors that we may have been discussing if we were talking about a darker version of that color or a lighter color. So what I'm saying is when you get in these neutrals, sometimes when you get to the darker or lighter areas, you have to switch over to the next family of colors to get the color you're after. So there you are. There's all the neutrals. I'm trying to pull them out so you can see them better. Those are really nice gray neutrals. I also did pull out a brown. You can see that over here. It's a grayish brown, but it's definitely a brown. Gray. These two grays are definitely just, almost too gray, but this is the best gray right here. I'm gonna put it over it and then leave that red there. Okay, so now I'm looking at my telephone instead of my monitor. So that's how this works. My professional studio right here, Christian Painters. I've been aware of the StreamYard technology now for over a year. The first time that I heard of this technology, StreamYard, where you can broadcast live to multiple locations at one time. So like right now, for example, I am broadcasting to my YouTube channel, Christian Painters on YouTube. And then also at the same time, I'm broadcasting to my Christian Painters Facebook channel live. So if you are on Facebook live right now or tomorrow, because that's really, I'm going to make this short. I'm announcing that tomorrow, starting about 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go ahead and start or schedule a live broadcast, probably this evening. And tomorrow, 10 a.m., I'm going to go on and I'm going to just sit here and entertain myself for a little while and make myself available to anyone with questions about house painting, questions about colors for color selection for your house. And all of that's free right here, StreamYard. And then also estimates. Like I can give you an estimate right here. It's the easiest way for me to do it, actually. All you have to do is click on that link right there I've provided for you in the live stream and that live feed there. And then also it'll activate your camera. So you just turn your camera around so that we can see whatever space it is that you want to have painted. I have my monitor right here. I can look at it very closely on my monitor and give you an estimate right here. All right, so for everyone who doesn't already know, most of my customers, or a lot of my customers do know that I have this Facebook page, Dandelion Chef. So I have consumed dandelion. Yep, that's right, the plant dandelion. I've consumed that for over 30 years now. Why? Because I had a need for calcium and magnesium. I had a need for vitamin C and vitamin D. I had a need for vitamin K. I had a need for leafy green plants. And I don't know if you have a need. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I had a need for leafy green plants. I had a knee injury. I grew up playing sports. I grew up very rough and rugged and wild, barefoot, mostly naked here in the state of Texas, the hot state of Texas. And so I had an injury. I had a knee injury when I was barely 25 years old. And the doctor that did the arthroscopic surgery to go take pictures and show me these, micro minuscule cracks in my tendons. What is it? Tendons. It's It's cartilage is what it is, where your two bones meet, your upper knee bone. This is supposed to be straight. Here, I'll stand up to make this analogy work. So this is your lower leg bone. This is your upper, where they meet there. And then the kneecap is out here on the front. Inside there, that's pure cartilage where those bones meet. So the doctor had told me you have cracks and they will not heal themselves. As a matter of fact, he had to tell me as my doctor that they would only get worse. So I was going to be the one. It was going to be up to me to maintain my knee and get surgery at the correct time. And the great news was that technology was advancing so much that knee surgery was getting better and better rapidly. So I still nevertheless didn't want anything to do with that. How about you, Robert Villa? You want to have knee surgery? You want to get you some natural dandelion, some natural calcium. That's really what it is. Robert has a garden. And so let's see, very cool setup and broadcast. Hey, you like my professional studio? Yes, sir. I got my sign right here. Audio sounds great. The challenge, Robert, is that once someone joins the broadcast, it messes up the audio. Right now, my audio should be really good and clear. But the idea of doing this StreamYard is that I have a panel. I can bring on a panel. I can bring up to 10 people onto this panel right now. There are 2 people currently watching, I think both on YouTube. But when I bring on a second person onto the panel, because my phone is like the master computer in the studio to anyone who comes on here, then it just overloads my phone. That's what it is, and it makes my voice. It's not all of the time. It's like half of the time. The voice it gets pretty garbly at times. Especially when I have 3 and 4 people on. It's not as bad with 1 additional person, so 2 people. But when I hit 3 and 4, yeah, my voice gets terrible. So my goal for months now, as always, I have goals because I'm a dreamer and you have to dream, right? But thank you very much for joining me, Robert, and thank you whoever else is joining me, because I see there are 2 people watching at the moment. You just have to do what you got to do with what you have. And so this is what I have. Business is slow. I ain't gonna lie. Thankful to all of my customers on my YouTube channel for Christian Painters. I have over 3,000 subscribers. I can't thank you enough. Like, really, that's so cool to have, just the reason I started the YouTube channel all those years ago was just because I knew phone books were going to be phased out, and I wanted to have a strong listing in Google search results. And I knew that one way to increase a strong search result would be to have these videos. And the day that I noticed on my phone that I could upload a video directly from my phone to YouTube, not live, but just that I could upload it, I did. And so I haven't turned back. I've been making videos ever since that day and uploading them from my phone. Excuse me. For a minute, I did have computers and a professional setup. I still have a computer. I have my Mac. The reason I bought my Mac is a MacBook Pro. I bought it the first year they came out, and I bought it to do video. And it's very helpful for a long time. But unfortunately, it's the one computer that, MacBook, that is not compatible with all of these new apps. So it doesn't even work properly with YouTube and Facebook. It won't work at all with StreamYard. StreamYard is pretty picky. And so that's the deal, is I first found this technology over a year ago, primarily because I eat dandelion. That's a wild food, and it's a food that is considered a foraging food instead of just something that grows in your yard, because that's what it does. It grows in your yard. Most wild foods do not grow in your yard. Some do. Thistles, curl dock, things like that grow commonly in north central Texas in a lot of yards that aren't fertilized and, you know, things like that. But nevertheless, dandelion does. And so I was following a guy named Mark Vordenberger or something like that. He's got a complicated last name, Mark Merriweather. He's got a second nickname that is almost a last name, Mark Merriweather, and he is the Texas Forager, or foragingtexas.com is his website. He now does Medicine Man Company vitamins, their supplements. And it's really kind of funny because that's the story behind dandelion, is that there is a professor who, in his chemistry class at Windsor University, he figured out that that dandelion root, that name right there, that dandelion root, a student brought a dandelion root in just from outside and ground it up in a blender with a little water and put that juice on a tray of blood cells that were cancerous blood cells. And what Dr. Sairam Pandey was the teacher and the man in charge, he said he saw with his own two eyes the infected blood cells die off. That process is called apoptosis. And so I'm saying all of that to tell you simply that dandelion is far more than a food that you forage for. But since it's considered that, you'll find information about dandelion on foragingtexas.com, all right? And recipes and, you know, a lot of cool stuff. I saw Mark post just the other day that it is officially dandelion season, which it is officially dandelion season. You can get out and get some nice hardy dandelion right now. But because I was following Mark Merriweather, Foraging Texas, on the social interwebs, social media, Facebook, YouTube, I noticed him coming on live. I'd never seen this before. That's why I say I noticed. I'd never seen that before. And so here we are, you know, just watching a Facebook video or the equivalent, you know, but I notice, you know, he's talking to people and they're commenting, and he can even pull their comments up and put it on the screen like that and talk to them. And then they'll comment a couple of more times as he's talking. And so I had never seen that before, ever. And that was over a year ago. So ever since, I wanted to do this, not only for that aspect, that it live streams to multiple social medias, and that it's live, that people can comment live, like Robert Villa commented live from YouTube. You can see that YouTube logo there. But this one is my comment on Facebook, so you can see that Facebook logo there. So it's not just that, it's this thing called screen control. Screen control, all right? What that looks like is something like that. This is actually called an overlay, is what that's called. So I've got multiple pictures here that I've uploaded as an overlay. An overlay would actually be something that normally would be part of my presentation for let's see, would be part of the decor for my presentation. There you go. It's kind of like if I take that off right there, see this green around it, it gets dark on one side, it's dark over here and greener over there. Okay, so that's a background, and the combination of a background, I'll try to find a skinnier overlay here. It's funny because there's not any. I intentionally made them all larger like this. So the idea is that the combination of the background and then my picture and the logo off on the top side, all of that together. Ooh, that's crazy. I just noticed that my logo up there is Outlaw Video TV, which is my music channel. And I need to remember to change that to my Christian painters. See, StreamYard, complications. But tomorrow, when you join me, that will say Christian painters up there at the top. So anyway, until I figure out how to properly do all this, and trust me, I'm not the only one. These StreamYards have become popular over the last year, right? And so everybody has experienced StreamYard and the live panels by now. And, you know, a lot of us actually follow podcast or these StreamYard panel broadcasts either on YouTube or Facebook. I, for example, follow a music, couple of them. One is Hangin' and Bangin', which is Vinny Appice, a drummer, and Carmine Appice, his brother, a drummer. And they have guests on, and it's a panel on StreamYard just like this, only theirs is way more professional. And I follow a couple of those types of things. As a matter of fact, that's one of my number one forms of entertainment. I really don't find television drama series entertaining or desirable for myself. When I'm around other people, I'm more likely to watch even a drama, like say a Game of Thrones. I started watching Game of Thrones early, back season 2. So all I had to do was go back and watch season 1, and I was caught up, and those were the best 2, right? All right, so I just have a bunch of pictures here. I'm going to go through them. But before I do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this camera go down. I'm going to try to figure out a way to show you these colors that I have laid out. So excuse me for a minute. Forgive me. Well, I know this looks a little odd here. I've got this under control. So here we go. How much of that can we see? Can we see? Yeah, okay. So it's funny when I look at this on the screen, it's all upside down. So anyway, here's my colors back here. I need to figure out a way to remove Christian painters there because that is blocking these colors here. But over here, these are the original colors that I showed you right here. So this is the basil and the sun-dried tomato. That's what that red is. If anybody is interested in the very best dark red that Sherwin-Williams has to offer, that color is sun-dried tomato. If you're needing that red to be a little browner for any reason, outside, for example, this sun-dried tomato is going to show up very red outside. If you want a red, but it still be, you know, not too bright, then Sherwin-Williams has that whole Rockford family. Rockford red is what it's called. And it's right there. I can pull it out and show it to you in a minute. So that's in there. That Rockford red would actually go with this jade and these gray colors that I have picked out here as well. What is this? This is why it's that, of course. Gauntlet gray. Gauntlet gray. I painted some exteriors this gauntlet gray. So, you know, really these are great exterior colors, are great formal interior colors. It's just the way that it works. You only have so many colors in this wheel. Yes, there are literally 1,000 or so, you know, maybe thousands in this color wheel. But the truth is most of them are never used. That would be a very interesting case study to do with any paint company like Kelly Moore or Sherwin-Williams. How often are these colors used? Because I can assure you that colors like that, these neutrals, those are the colors that are used most, you know. And then when it gets into blues, it's those neutral blues. So there you go. Those kind of neutral colors towards the back. And even your golds and tans, you know, are in there. All these brighter colors up front here, all of them. Nobody paints their living room or even their formal dining. They might paint their kitchen, you know, just to be crazy and wild and wacky. Right in there, you can get someone, you know, there's some good greens in there. But even these blues, most of these brighter blues, there's actually some nice steely blues, a denim blue and a steely blue right there. This is a Sherwin-Williams, a Kelly Moore Fandank for the record. So there's some nice neutral tone colors even for the walls right there. As a matter of fact, that one is real close to that gauntlet gray family. But okay, down in here, these colors, that's what I'm talking about. You know, sometimes some people go wild and use one of these colors, but, you know, not often. It's a kid's room. It's a utility. It's a kitchen. You know, when I was a kid, you know, it wasn't uncommon to see these colors in a living room. You'd see this in a dining room, and you'd see this bright yellow in a kitchen, and you'd see, you know, a blue in the living room. And that's how it was when I was a kid. People painted Mexican colors. I think, you know, maybe it was people still had some art left in them, some boldness, and knew how to decorate. For the record, anybody who ever wanted to paint, say, your living room, something like that, or your dining room, something like any of these greens right here, the way that you make a color work is to think of it as the matting to what you're presenting. So what that means is that it's kind of a utopian dream, but it's the way that I encourage, and it's the way that as a decorator, it's how we think. You're going to hang pictures on the wall. You're going to hang paintings on the wall. You might hang like a large tapestry on the wall. You're going to put window treatments on the windows on the wall. A lot of different things are going to go on the wall. And then in front of the wall, you're going to put furniture, sofas, chairs, tables, you know, china cabinets, desks, and so on. So I'm just talking to you as a decorator. Whether it's one of these wild, crazy, bold colors there, or back here into these nice neutrals that we found here, or these nice neutrals back here in the back. I'm being crazy now. Being crazy now. There you go. All right, so even these colors here, a lot of people ask themselves, they say, hey, you know, I really like this color. Look, it's really, really nice. Look how nice that color is. That looks like a great color for the walls, but only, oh boy, it looks really dark, especially compared to these. It's a really dark family of colors, isn't it? Right? That's what everyone's going to say. Everyone is going to think this is way too dark for your home, for your walls. And they're always going to back down to something like this, or even this, or even this. Okay? Half of the people, half of the homes you ever paint, they never even think about these colors. They're down here and they're never going to get out of there. But people that understand decor and like their home to, create a ambiance with your home, then this is how you do it. Don't be afraid of this color or this color. All right. What you do, if this color fits your decor scheme, if it fits your furniture, your flooring, your cabinets, your stain colors, if that's your color, then that's your color. And you look at that color on your walls as a matting, like as the backing to your decor. All right. So I hope I got that point across. There's really not a whole lot more important in the house painting world, decorating and selecting colors than understanding that don't be afraid of these colors. I'll give you an example. A lot of times when we paint a room, I'll come back into that room when I'm done, and I've put, or wait, let's back up. I'm painting a room and I'm done. Like I'm putting the switch plates up, I'm cleaning up the floor, and the customer will come in and say, oh, well, it really looks, like this. And you go, hang on, wait a minute, two things. I need to close the blinds. Blinds are open. You almost never have the blinds open in this room, do you? Your furniture's not back up. We need to put your furniture back in the rooms, and you need to put your decor on the wall to really be able to take in what's happening here. And that's just a common kind of step-by-step phase of what happens often in the house painting world. When we're painting a room, people will come in while the blinds are down and the sunlight's shining in and want to see how the color looks. And it's like, well, this is how the color looks with the blinds taken off and all that sunlight coming in, and no furniture up against the walls and no decor on the walls. This is not at all what it's going to look like once the blinds go back up and the light, the bright sunlight is not there. And then you have your furniture in and you have your decor and how all of that affects the room. All right, yes, I am rambling on, folks, and the reason why is just to give you an opportunity to hop on board, because I'm not going to take that much more time. What I'm going to do is go through these pictures here in a minute, but first I'm going to go through some of the colors that I have on the table here before me. I stopped down on this picture, though, again, so that you could see my color scheme. Red, green, gold, purple. See, red, green, gold, those are just always your colors. Even if you're doing grays or washed out tans, browns, beiges, taupes, they still have a hue to them. And those hues are always in these families here: red, green, yellow, purple. And so those are always the colors that you work with. Now, sometimes you actually paint the walls, all the walls, with one of those colors, like the gold family or a tan family or a green family. And then the red is normally reserved for a formal dining space. So back to these colors, since these are the colors that we're working with, what you could do with this family of colors, and again, I am showing you specifically, this is Sherwin-Williams. It's Basil, Sherwin-Williams, November 2022, color of the month. How you can make that work. I asked the associates there at the store, and they weren't even really aware of the color being the color of the month. And they didn't really have a recommendation for accompanying colors because they know who I am and they know my expertise level, and they would normally be asking me those questions. So they're kind of looking at me funny, right? And rightfully so. So here's these colors. They fell upside down, so I'm straightening them back up. And I'm going to put them in the way that I think that they would be seen in when they're used inside a home. And it's like that. So this is your neutral color, and it's a color that I would encourage you to not be afraid of. Let me see, I can get this back. Okay, right here. This is your neutral color, right here, this one. It's a color I would encourage you to not be afraid of. I need to move. I said I want this in proper, so that needs to go back kind of like that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to use this as your alternative color, the basil. That's your alternative color. So that color could go in a living space, like a formal living space, especially if there's, say, a nice piano in there or something, a nice office kind of living space, maybe a shared living space. So that's where you're going to use that basil, is as a secondary color, and this would be your neutral that would go throughout your home. Now, you could go a shade lighter in this family, but look how bold this basil is. It really needs something like this. I can show you by comparison. I have a, it's kind of why I have this. Actually this color, it's more of a brown. What I'm going to show you here in just a minute, I'm going to show you another neutral next to this basil green. But it's kind of a brown, but it's actually got a mauve hue to it. So it's a brown with a mauve hue. And look, you know, it still looks good. So I would never talk anyone out of that. If you had a need, like let's say that went with your stained wood better. Let's say it went with all of your tile in your floor or in your countertops in your kitchen, areas like that. Well, then you would kind of need to go with that color because it's what works best in your home. And it still looks great with our basil. And then come back over here to our reds kind of hiding out back there. The red's going to be a featured third color in your formal dining. Formal dining is the best space to put a red. Don't let it throw you off, folks. Don't let people tell you what to do and what not to do. And that includes me. If you have no desire for a red in your home, then you know what? You should never put a red in your freaking home. But most people do. Most people, believe it or not, want to put colors in their home. They want to put blues. They want to put greens and reds, golds. They just don't know which ones. And a lot of times what's trendy and also what's neutral are what people choose because they're trying to sell a home or they're trying to put a fresh coat of paint on their walls that they can enjoy, but that would not maybe limit the potential prospect of selling their home at a later date. In my opinion, is all of that is just crazy. What you need to do is pick out the right colors. Yes, it's a gamble. Colors are a gamble, but that's why you deal with the dealer that knows how to play with these colors so that you get the payoff, you see. The payoff is what you're after. And so it's all about picking the right colors. All right, so that's it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that these are the only colors available ever. Look here, man. You can do this. That's why I brought these. more than anything was to show you that, you know, hey, this world can be any world you want it to be. These are just the kind of colors that you find more commonly in a decorative home. These colors are the kind of colors you find in children's rooms, game rooms, you know, really not even, you know, I guess game rooms. There you go. I did want to show you this color. I have that Rockford. This is the type of red that you see in like a theater room. If you have a theater room, you find this color a lot in a theater room. It's a good darker red that's not really purple or mauve or maroon. I mean, purple or maroon. It's more of just a good dark red. And it's also a color that you would see outside by comparison. This sun-dried tomato looks great inside, and it looks great on, say, a front door. It is Sherwin-Williams' best dark red, but usually it's going to be too bright for the outside, and you're going to jump over to something like that Rockford there. But I just wanted you to see that with that red so that you see, well, okay, there is a big difference. But it is still a red, not a maroon or a... All right, so not only that, I brought these to add some zing. How about that? A little ghost pepper orange. Now we're having fun, folks. Now we're having fun. Some ghost pepper orange right there with that electric green, that splashy blue, and that perfect purple. Yeah, so contact me. Let's have some fun. You may not be able to have this much fun, but you might be able to have this much fun. Wait a minute. Do it like that. There. You might be able to have that much fun. And folks, for the inside of your home, that's a lot of fun, especially say for the holidays. You've got family coming over. Painting for the holidays used to be a big deal. And so these are the kind of great colors that will look wonderful in your home for the holidays. You talk about entertaining guests and getting some compliments on your home. But then look at these colors. They're going to look wonderful well into the spring and summer and all year round. These colors are going to look fantastic and are going to inspire you in your home. That's right. Green is a very inspiring color. Red, it's scientifically known, turns you on. Green, yeah. That's the get up and go right there. That's go time. Right there. There's your coming home. You're coming home to that. Trying to get, let's see how to get it up there. Rick, you can do this. Here, I'm just going to take it off of there. There, you're coming home to that. Oh, look, honey. So nice and neutral. I just love our home. It's exciting. The decorations look really nice on that wall there. I mean, I don't even know what nice color that is. I know it's a neutral, but my goodness, honey, look. It looks one way during the day with the sunlight, and it looks entirely another at night with all the decor. That's right, honey. You've done such a fantastic job. So glad that you chose that color to create this ambiance for our home. While I'm talking on, I'm looking, I think I dropped those other paint chips. So there, you're free. All right, so this is my little table I have set up here. And that's how I'm gonna do it, is I'm gonna set up my paint colors there as you can see that I did here, actually. Before I move on, let's see. I'm just going to flip the camera around because of the lighting. But look, here's a couple of wonderful families. This is a nice beige gray family. So gray beige. And you can see that it has a little bit of a mauve taupe hue to it. And then these greens. I just wanted to show you there are other options if you want different colors in your home. So this family of beiges, which is a little more beige gray than this one, is a little more beige, less gray. So that means the mauve hue shows up a little more in this one and less in this one. But either one of these gray beige families would go great. This green family color here, family of colors, is a little minty, but when you get up in here, you don't really see that. You have a nice rich color in that. And so then over here, this family, this is I believe a better family of grays. Looks really nice here with these darker shades of green that are kind of, especially this one, it's got white in it. And I love that look right there. I love that look right there. And then finally, look, here's just a wonderful family of gray beige, and it features this family here. I mean, this color here, which we use on exteriors a lot when we're using a dark gray. All right, so hope I didn't make you dizzy turning it upside down over and over like that. Well, what I'm going to do now is go right on over to these images here. Excuse me while I set up. All right, this is how you do it. These are all like colors. They're neutral colors. The one on the top left there has a little bit of a green to it. That's a universal khaki, so you can see that khaki in the color. But look at that countertop, and this is how you do it. You just have to go through there, and I think if I remember right, what you're seeing is I was probably recommending the two colors in the middle. And what I do sometimes is show the colors either direction to show the colors that I don't recommend as much. So or at the same time could be a secondary color in another room. But the universal khaki there is not the best color for that particular countertop. And as you look over on the right hand side, that's latte, double latte. That is literally Sherwin-Williams' most popular family of colors. It's just a nice rich beige, but I don't think it was the color that I selected. The reason why is because when you look at the darker reds in there, I want to pull from some of those as well. I don't want to just have my color kind of fade into that easy washed out tan color in there. So that Sands of Time is just one family over from Latte, and it's got just a hint of that mauve red to it that'll pull from the darker brown with a little bit of red in it. So there you go. You have options, and that's how we do it. And I hope you notice that what I always do is try to show the families of colors that are close to eliminate them and show you the family of colors that I'm actually recommending. Okay, I don't even know what all I have here. So I'm just going to go back and show you all of these. First and foremost, this is a great place to start because that's what I'm doing here is I need work. I need work. I have customers call. People do call for work. The challenge is like, let's see, you know, it'll be someone who I estimate the job and, you know, it's just more than what they're expecting to pay. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to close the gap better than this right here, than to offer a free estimate here live on YouTube or on Facebook, preferably YouTube. YouTube's going to work better. I guess if you're using your monitor or if your friend's standing next to you, because the truth is that if you are getting your house painted and you want a free estimate, then you will see everything on StreamYard. That's what will happen if you go to this link here. All right, hey, I'm going to get right to that comment. If you go to this link here in the live chat and click on that link, then that takes you into StreamYard. All right, so Ryan, hello, Ryan. And when do you think about Sherwin-Williams or what? Silver plate. Well, I can tell you already, I've used silver plate multiple times. That's one of the cool things about this channel, this YouTube channel. I don't claim that my Christian Painters YouTube channel is the best channel for everything paint. It's not what I do. I'm a house painter. So my YouTube channel is best for seeing the actual painting process taking place. Not someone talking about it or doing samples to make an edited video that's impressive. I mean, I'm an actual painter. This is what I've done with this business, Christian Painters, for almost 25 years, over 23 years now. And so I have painted this color silver plate multiple times. It's a light gray, as you can imagine, folks. It's called silver plate, so it's actually a silverish gray, and it's a nice color. I think it's still a neutral. If anybody's listening, I said silver, silverish, but it's still very much a neutral, and I like it. Why, Ryan? What are you thinking about using silver plate on your interior walls or cabinets or your exterior or what? And so this is how this works, is I can answer your questions in my chats. The way I kind of came about this, other than seeing the technology and being inspired just because of the technology, it's because I started making these videos and posting them to this YouTube channel. Goodness, 13 or 14 years ago. Again, the day that I realized I could upload it from my phone. So that means I made the video of my job. I show the products, I show the colors I'm using, I talk about the products. So my videos are very informative. I keep my videos short, informative, simple, and I've got over 1,800 of those videos on this YouTube channel. So Ryan, back to your question. To finish it, it would be on this YouTube channel. Just type Christian Painters, all one word, and then type silver plate and the SW. I don't know what the SW number is off the top of my head, and I'm not going to look it up, but just because I can't see it. If I could see it, I would look it up, but hopefully during the day tomorrow, which is my plan, everybody paying attention. Tomorrow, hop on, and I will be going live again tomorrow. I plan on starting about 10 a.m. in the morning. And I'll sit here for a couple of hours and just entertain myself and see who hops on. Again, I'm offering free estimates. I'm offering free house painting consultation. I can answer any questions. This is what I do. I'm a highly intelligent fellow that just happened to paint houses all my life. So let's see. Interior walls throughout house would be silver plate. Doors, baseboards, trim white. You're pretty much, I believe, with silver plate going to use pure white is Sherwin-Williams' brightest white. So anybody paying attention, silver plate is SW7049. So I'm going to go back over here real quick and get rid of that so I can show you these. These are Sherwin-Williams whites. Those two are alabaster, and these two are pure white. Probably didn't notice a bit of a difference between the two either, did you? Okay, so let me tell you what they are. Is alabaster, this one over here. It has a slight amount of a beige hue to it. So if you're working with darker colors, especially like taupes and things like that, this alabaster is a better color to use on your trim and doors in some cases. But in most cases, when you're just looking for the best, brightest white that Sherwin-Williams has for interior trim paint, it's this pure white. Don't get thrown off by high reflective white. They have a white that's a little whiter than this. I think they might even have one called extra white that appears a little whiter on paper. But those products are only available in oil-based products that are part of what make that white brighter. So for your commercial products, anyway, bottom line is to get the brightest white that you possibly can for your interior trim and doors. That's it, pure white. And what I do, this is my professional painter's trick, and this is the free advice that I'm giving out all day, every day, right here at Christian Painters for anybody who wants it, is per gallon, you're going to add 2 ounces of white tint. At least 1 ounce. At least 1 ounce of white tint. That's the trick. Time zone central. I'm in basically Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Mansfield, Texas. That's where the majority of my business is in Arlington, Mansfield, Texas. And then south of there is my preference. Now, don't get me wrong. In 23 years, hell, I've painted all over Texas. I painted every AMF bowling lane in Texas and Oklahoma, most of them twice. And I'm a residential painter. Like, I never, ever advertised as commercial, and I never wanted to do commercial work, right? I was begged. AMF bowling lanes begged me to do. And I never turned down commercial work locally. For example, Steinmart. I painted every Steinmart in Dallas, Fort Worth, surrounding suburbs, at least twice again. Yeah, but that was back in the day. The economy changed. Just to remind everybody, history lesson. The economy changed back in 2008, 2009. It had fully changed with the whole banker bailout and the housing bubble bust and, all of that stuff. So the economy literally changed and it has not recovered. And, with the pandemic did not help at all. And we really needed the business to recover this year. But we, in the state of Texas, they raised our property taxes. And so that killed the possibility of us having any recovery. So yeah, 10 a.m. Central Time Zone tomorrow. So the way that this kind of came about, Ryan, is that people contact me, with over 1,800 videos, over 12, 13 years. People comment on my videos all the time. And then they actually contact me. Like, people call me, I don't know, every couple of weeks from somewhere outside of this area, which is okay. When I have time, I don't mind at all. I'm always kind of appreciative, that I just think it's really nice to be thought of and to be thought well of. And I don't know. I'm just always happy when people contact me with painting questions because they saw my YouTube videos. So anyway, over a year ago, I started a service where I charge $10 for 10 minutes to answer any of your questions. And over the last year, actually, I started that a couple of years ago. So over the last, year, not as much. Like, it fell off the last few months and I need it. So that's another reason to be firing this back up or firing this up. I've been helping people around the country that have paint needs. And I found what I knew already to be true, which is that I can literally save you money, time, and headache no matter where you're at. I can also help you get into colors. I can help you find a local painter, and I can, kind of go over the things to look for and the things, to expect when you're hiring another painter and all of that kind of stuff. And so, don't get me wrong, I need to be painting houses. What it is that I keep my grandson. My daughter died. Probably a fentanyl overdose, murder, if you ask me. Arlington Police Department didn't seem to care too much about it. And I've been keeping my grandson, me and thankfully his grandmother, my daughter's mom. She's a beautiful, amazing person. Without her, we would both be up a creek. So we don't live together. We've been divorced for a long time. So she keeps him half the time. I keep him half the time. So that means I've been keeping my grandson for 3 and 4 days a week, every week by myself. I'm not married. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm 57 years old now, so I don't have a bunch of people with younger friends. So I just don't have any help. I do it all by myself, and I do that 3 and 4 days a week. So the only days I'm available to work, everybody, Kim Pratt, I love you. Thank you for supporting me all these years. But, you know, I'm only available to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, I can work Thursday during the day, but I pick my son up from school, 3 o'clock every Thursday. So I can work Sunday, but I have my son Sunday morning and sometimes until Sunday afternoon. So really, without getting a day off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I can sit around here and gripe and complain and moan and groan and, all of that, but it doesn't change my ability to pay my bills. And so the things I can gripe about is needing work and not having work, estimating too many jobs and people saying my price is too high. When we live in a world with subsidized labor, it's just as simple as that. If I estimate your job at $4,000 and Romero and Rodriguez and Jose, they all estimate it at $3,000. It's because it takes a whole week to do that job. And when your rent is free and your food is free and your medicine is free and your education is free, that is about $1,000 a week. So it's real easy for someone who can, to say, oh yeah, I can do it for $3,000. It's called subsidized labor. It's how we build our highways. It's how we build our high rises. And it has 100% affected the house painting business. Okay, I once had wish painted tools in my kitchen sink. Left huge lists throughout house with sanding dust and paint drops. Woo! I'm not sure that you typed all that the way that you intended to. You might have voice texted that, but I once had wash painting tools in my kitchen sink. Left huge mess throughout house with sanding dust and paint drops. Yeah, again, I'm going to go back and answer your original question. That silver plate, if you just do a search, I have multiple videos on this channel with silver plate on the walls with that alabaster on the trim so that you can see it on a video on your television in your living room. And so when it comes to a mess, it's just real simple. Prep is the majority of the job, like literally. I'll give you an example. One of the reasons I'm sitting here broke is I had a former customer who was investing into condominiums in North Arlington. And this person had hired me. I had on the schedule for over a month. And we had a contract. It was agreed on, everything. All right. And so I get over there and I do all of the prep work, like 100% of the prep work to paint 1, 2, 3, 4 room, a little 4-room condominium. And another contractor's there doing some work in the closet, doing some shelving or something, and is asking me questions that are typical to me of someone who's, trying to hustle my business. I've been through it so many times. In this case, I was like, whatever, good luck with that. This is my customer, and, I just had no idea, honestly, I actually took a break, I started the job a little later in the day. I had intended on working late. The condominium was empty, so I had that freedom to work late. I'd already told the customer I was going to be working late and get the job done as quick as possible. So anyway, I took a break. I came back to the job. Now I took a break, granted, after doing 100% of the prep work. I did all of the prep work. All right. That means covering everything for dust, covering everything with tape, taping off all the baseboards, taping off all the floors, everything. I did all the prep work. And I took a break. So when I came back a couple of hours later, the customer showed up maybe 15 or 20 minutes after I got there. I think when I got there, I sent her a text, and she sent a text back about that other contractor. And so anyway, she came over to the condo. By that time, I had already cut in, because I start cutting in before I paint. So I'd already cut in all the cut in 2 rooms. I know it's a long story to get a point across, but it's our reality, man. This is reality. This is a former customer, someone who's supposed to be a family friend, literally comes over to the condo and says, hey, I don't know if you talked to the contractor that was here, but basically he said he would hire you to work for him because he cut me a deal. And I was like, I was floored. Like, I was speechless. I was freaking dumbfounded. One was, I was practically done with the job. I did all the prep. I'd already finished painting 1 room, was cutting in the 2nd room. I would have had that job done the next day. And, she didn't ask me, she didn't tell me correctly, but she did tell me directly that she had hired this other guy to do my job, even though she had already hired me. So, in that situation, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to sit there and argue with people. I'm not going to choke them. I just got my stuff and left. I don't know what else to do but just keep the peace at that point. But keeping the peace cost me $1,000 that I desperately needed, which is, again, back to what I'm doing here, is that I hope with everything that this world has within it. I meant to say, I once had a painter wash their tools and brush. Oh, good. Oh, good to me, Ron. He left the dust from the sanding the floors, lots of paint drops on the floor. Paint drops on the floor is absolutely intolerable. You can't leave paint drops anywhere. That's not how that works. But they shouldn't get there in the first place if everything is covered properly. And you know what the heck you're doing. Don't mind giving you another wonderful painter's tip. A damp rag nearby. Multiple damp rags. Not wet in a bucket. You need them already squeezed out. Just damp rags nearby. Yeah. Clean up as you go. It's real easy to do. But you also tape off properly in the first place, and it's a non-issue. So nevertheless, the dust, that's what I was going to say, is, dust is dust. Heck, I had to turn my heater on this week in Texas, and the next morning, everything was covered in dust. I have tile wood floors here in this house, and so I can't go 2 or 3 days without the floors being covered in dust. So dust is one of those things that are, the difference. You know the difference. You can expect some dust, especially if you're having sheetrock repairs and a lot of cabinets sanded and things. But the obvious things are that you have to clean up. That's one of the things that nobody understands about a painter, is that we have to clean everything. Everything gets cleaned before we tape off and make a mess that we have to clean up, right? So I have to clean everything just so that, like, my tape sticks. My tape won't stick to the top of your baseboard if I don't clean the top of your baseboard, right? So I have to clean everything first before I tape off. Even with taping everything off and then using a vacuum to try to vacuum as much dust as I can, there's just no way around it. you know, after you pick up that plastic and you're done and everything is moved out of that environment, you know, odds are that some amount of dust is inevitably going to be present. So they should probably tell you that before you hire them, though, right? Yes, sir. I do require a down payment. Are you in Mansfield? State your affiliation, sir. I do require 50% down. What I, you know, let's see, Ryan, right now today, things are a little different with me. There's no way in the world I'm doing a job without a 50% down payment today. But keep in mind, I can only work 3 days, so I can really only do, you know, $1,500 to $2,000. I don't know. I guess it depends on what it is. You know, I could get a $3,000 job done in 3 days. I sure could. And keep in mind that I'm probably doing this job by myself also. If I have to hire out, you know, it's just a lot going on. In my world, I don't, you know, it's part of what I'm doing here now is I'm being transparent and honest with my customers. Ryan, I don't know where you're at, but with over 3,000 subscribers, the majority of those people are right here in Arlington, Mansfield, Fort Worth, you know, this area that I service. And so this is my way of talking to all of them, my actual customers, and letting you know that, you know, I'm very sorry. You know, this world is completely different. Please understand. You know, my realtor friends, thank you for, you know, understanding. But I am available. I'm a professional. I'm as good as they get in this business, and I can get a lot done in 3 days. But I'm not interested in, like, I was trying to do that job in Mesquite. I can't go to Mesquite and do a job, you know. But if you've got a, you know, 2 or 3 day job, interior or exterior, here in Mansfield, South Arlington, or south of here, then, you know, I am very interested. Now, back to the down payment. My advice to you, sir, as your, you know, representative here, you know, representing you, not the contractor. Yeah, my advice would be to try not to pay 50% down. My advice would be to, you know, don't haggle on the price. That's number one. If you haggle on the price and the down payment, that's 2 big red flags. But my advice is to never haggle on the price. It's okay to ask, you know, hey, you estimated the job at $4,400. Man, I really have $4,000 budgeted. If you can round that off at $4,000, man, I'd love to hire you today. You know, they can always say no, right? But, you know, don't ask them twice and don't put the pressure. Whatever you, God, please don't say that Rodriguez Painting can do it for $1,000 less, because it's really like psychological abuse. So it's not what you want to do when hiring a painter. What you really want to do is just go, oh, it's $4,400. Let me see if I can get them to knock off $4,000. The truth is, you don't want them doing that job for $3,400. That's the majority of their freaking, you know, for sure profit, you know. So that's why I don't think that you haggle on the price, but you can on the down payment. And so here's how that works in my eyes, is that if they're telling you that they are a professional paint company and they're painting houses every week and they have a crew of 2 or 3 people or 2 crews, you know, whatever, they're a professional ongoing operation. If that's what they're telling you, then they're not like me and they don't need the money as much as I do. Like, I can't paint your freaking house this week without that down payment. It'd be impossible. But let's see, 10 years ago, 6 years ago, or even, you know, especially up to 2008, shoot, man, I was running 3 and 4 crews myself, and I had sales managers and, you know, a lot of different things. But my point is, on the down payment, is that they're going to need the equivalent of a day's pay per day, ideally, and the materials that they're going to use, right? But you know what? They're not going to buy all the paint on the first day. They're going to buy things like caulk and sandpaper and plastic and tape and things like that. And then they're going to buy the paint on the second day. So if you're really that concerned about it, that's how I would present it. As I would say, hey, let me give you a down payment so you can get started. And then after you work the first day, on the second day when you're probably going to buy the paint, let me pay you the rest of that 50% down payment or something, whatever it is that you have in mind, on the second day. So there are definitely ways to protect yourself to some extent that is, I consider to be rational. All right. But number one is I don't think it's rational for you or anyone else to haggle. Man, if you're not happy with what they're charging and how they present themselves, then by all means, contact someone else. Find someone you're happy with what they're charging and how they present themselves, and don't haggle with them. That's just a misnomer. I don't know why, but we get beat to death in this freaking world by people wanting to, let me tell you some of the stories. It's, I put myself through college painting houses. Me and the boys, it was a good time back in the day. I painted this house. But, I just ain't up to climbing up that ladder this time. I thought I'd give you a shot. If you can give me a deal, I was thinking about hiring you. Stuff like that. You're like, I don't care what you did in college. I'm here to paint and it ain't going to affect anything. I got to charge this price. People just have this idea that painters just go around slinging prices. Oh, yeah, this number, that number. And we don't. I give a line item bid so you know exactly what I'm charging for each item that I'm painting pretty much. And, that's the number I have to have. Okay, what would you charge for? I charge by the room. And so the easier way to do it is, tell you what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go over here to that. So put a graphic up there so I can turn the phone sideways, and I can go over here to comments, and I can comment to you over here, brother. So right here, it's star comment. Well, I'll just do that. I thought I could reply to you here. It doesn't look like I can reply to you, but I can post a comment. So, $400 for the walls. Whoa. I didn't mean to do that. 200 for the ceilings. And this is an average size room. Keep in mind, most people who own a Fox and Jacobs home built in the 70s, those small 8-foot ceiling, they just can't hire a professional painter. If they're hiring a professional painter to paint a house like that, it's because someone else owns the house and they're renting it out or selling it or something. And, these prices are just not meant for those small houses. These prices are meant for, your average home that was built in the last 30 years that are, a little bigger than those old 70s Fox and Jacobs homes. Okay, so 200 for the ceiling. So I'll just do that. And then trim, get back over here. Trim. So trim is, window sills. And keep in mind, all of this includes the prep cost, which for the walls is spackling, and I'll caulk and spackle cracks, but I won't repair them for that. I charge quite a bit for repairs. Okay, I used to could do repairs. I want to say, look, everything costs more. Repairs specifically, I have to charge a lot for repairs. Okay, so where was I at? I was on trim. So trim gets sanded for this price. So it's 200 for the trim. So trim is baseboards, door jambs, the door trim, and window seals. And those seals get sanded, primed where needed, caulked in, all of that. All the trim gets sanded, cleaned, and caulked in. So then doors are, this will be my final comment, I promise, on these prices. $50 per door. And again, that $50 is for sanding, cleaning with mineral spirits in a cotton rag, because anytime you're ever painting anything oil, you need to also clean with mineral spirits in a cotton rag prior. So, Ryan, like, I really am kind of rambling on, but I don't have a problem with it. I appreciate you spending a little time with us here. So if you want to tell me how many rooms you have and list the rooms, I can give you a price by that. But also what I prefer to do is just talk to you about it live. That's what I prefer. So that means you could call now if you want, but I prefer you to wait till tomorrow. I'm kind of tired, getting ready to wrap up my day. But I don't have work this week. I hope to have work next week. So here's this. If you need professional house painting and you just have a few rooms, I can paint 3 complete rooms in 3 days. So that's wall, ceiling, trim, doors. It'd be longer days for me by myself, but I can get it done. I can get the walls painted in 2 rooms in 1 day, easy. So here we are, Ryan. Does that price apply for halls and bath? Thank you very much. You're asking the right questions. It depends. So, like, for example, if it's a 1-story house or a 2-story house, go ahead and answer that, because that helps me a lot. That tells me hall sizes and bathroom sizes and things. But let's just stick with a bathroom. On a bathroom, if it's a bathroom with a shower and a sink and a toilet, then usually that's going to be the same price as everything else, especially the walls. Sometimes I can do it this way, where I charge $400 for the walls, but charge $100 for the ceiling and $100 for the trim. Now, keep in mind, in those bathrooms, same thing. I have to clean those baseboards before I can paint them. And it's just something that you won't ever hear a painter talk to you about, but I will, because I'm going to freaking do it. I have to clean those baseboards. So that means, the majority, I'd say 80 to 90% of every bathroom I've ever painted, I had to clean up pee and puke and poop and diarrhea. And who all knows what splattered on those trims back there? All I know is that when you wipe your rag on it, it's yellow and brown, So I have to sand that baseboard behind the toilet or around the toilet. And then I had to clean it all. And then I had to tape it all off. So I had to have the floor clean for my tape to stick to the floor. So usually there's pee splatter on the floor. It's nothing personal. It's just the way that it is. It's every freaking bathroom, even mine. If I didn't clean my bathroom, you can't tell I'm a little bit of a neat freak, just a little. Only clean. I'm not a germ freak so much. I'm not a neat freak. I just like my bathroom clean, and I like my jobs clean. So, if you don't clean the pee-pee off of your floor and your actual toilet and the baseboard behind your toilet prior to your painter getting there, then your painter's probably going to have to do it. So I don't like giving discounts on the trim wood in bathrooms because of that alone. So that's kind of how bathrooms work. Now, if it's a smaller bathroom, let's say it's a powder bath and it doesn't have a shower or a bathroom, and it doesn't have it doesn't have a shower or a bathtub. It just has a toilet and a little sink with a mirror. Then yes, I can obviously do that room. I can do the walls for $200, the ceiling for $100, and the trim for $100. The doors are still $50. So that gives you an idea on the bathrooms. Master baths, I normally don't charge more. Master baths will have a separate like toilet closet. I charge extra for the door and the woodwork in there. Like if there's a magazine rack or toilet paper holder that has to be painted, I have to charge extra for all of that kind of stuff. So, but on the just walls and ceiling and trim, most master bathrooms are going to be 4 for the walls, 2 for the ceiling, 2 for the trim. Most guest bathrooms are going to be 4 for the walls, 2 for the trim, and sometimes I'll say, yeah, I'll give you a deal and knock off $100 on that ceiling. And sometimes I'll do the trim for $100. Just depends. I have to look at it. You can tell I struggle with it, right? All right. Okay, let's do it tomorrow. Yes, sir, Ryan. Thank you very much. And then you might be cleaning. Hey, that's what I'm saying. You never know what you're cleaning. I've cleaned it all. Like it's just one of those things. I also did janitorial work for about 3 years prior to house painting. I used to clean the medical building over in Fort Worth off of 8th is on the corner. It's a parking garage now, believe it or not. The medical building is not even there. It was literally like a 12-story medical building. Ugh, never knew what you were cleaning in that place. But at the time, that kind of work worked really well for me. So that's how I did it. It was, believe it or not, kind of between jobs. If I could have made more money cleaning, then I would have stayed with it. But you can just only make so much cleaning. And the truth is that I didn't intend on painting houses. Even though I painted all my life, I didn't intend on painting houses for a living to support my family and all of that. Prior to this, I was doing web page design and I'd been in sales. I'd done sales for, believe it or not, carpet cleaning, but I was very good at it. Like I'll tell you the story sometime if you want to hear it, just ask. But I excelled at commercial carpet cleaning sales, and but because of the company and everything, I could only do that for maybe a year or something. So it was kind of a shame. I just built them up a lot of residual income and had to leave. But same thing, I also sold yellow page advertising. In my first year there, I was #1 in sales in the nation. In 125 markets, I was #1. It had a lot to do with this market also. It wasn't just me, it was me. I'm an opportunist. I know opportunity and seize opportunity. But here's the thing is, prior to Christian Painters, I was doing web page design, graphic design, flyers, business form layouts, even printing and things like that. I was pretty fully invested in that. And honestly, it was a couple of things that I'm going to stick with it, that the main reason was that that I got out of it was that I saw the learning curve. I saw that, oh, wait a minute, this is all going to be on the telephone. I started doing web page design when it was on the internet, and this is all going to be on the telephone. So I'm going to have to like learn a whole, and then it's who knows what it's going to be on after the telephone. So I just saw learning curve after learning curve, and just, I was trying to raise my family, honestly. So I had a couple of directories online. One was called ChristianRemodeling.com, and one was called ChristianHomeServices.com. And believe it or not, those websites were very vital websites to the Dallas-Fort Worth home service industry. And I'm just going to say it because I heard Robert Groden say it today, that that GoDaddy stole his domain name. All right. Well, I used a different company. I used a company called Bulk Register. and Bulk Register literally stole those freaking names from me. And there was nothing I could do but sue them, and I didn't have the ability to sue them and stuff. So anyway, that's part of what happened with Christian remodeling and Christian home services. And so because of those directories, I'd set those directories up to facilitate web page design and graphic design. For example, there are still companies today that have the logo that I designed for their company over 25 years ago, 25 years ago, that they still have it in their company and on their vehicles and everything. And it's always cool when I see them. So because of those directories, I literally had people calling me for house painting, remodeling. I mean, I literally, folks listening, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know how I got the energy to ramble here, but I literally had people in Plano and McKinney and those areas, maybe some North Fort Worth, but people calling regularly, like at least once a month, for second story room additions. You're like, do you know, it's just a website. Like I run a directory. They're like, I know, we did the research, and like, you're the guy. Do you know someone? Who should we contact for a second story room addition? I'm like, nobody. You should never do a second story room addition. Right? You're going to spend $100,000 and increase the value of your home $20,000. I mean, second story room addition is one of the biggest wastes of freaking income. Unless you have a way of getting it done. Like if you can get it done yourself, then that's different. Okay, so anyway, that's the deal, is that back in the day, I had so many people calling for house painting that it was a pretty easy step, thankfully. And it wasn't just that I had people calling for house painting. It was that I was networking with other contractors already through my directory. So it was like David Lockhart, for example. He was one of my big flooring guys. He did all my flooring back then. Or he was the only person that I recommended to all of my customers for flooring. I miss you, David Lockhart. You're a good guy. But because I had all these contractors that I was already sending work to, when I started Christian Painters, it became just a very natural step or process to ask these people and for them to refer work to me. So for my first year, I did probably half of my work was up in Northeast Carrollton, North Dallas, Plano, those areas. The other half was here in Arlington and surrounding areas. And I just had an epiphany. I was like, I am driving for like 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night to do the same work for the same money, that I'm doing. So I just joined the Chamber of Commerce. That's when I got creative with my marketing, was I joined the Chamber of Commerce, and it worked. It wasn't just joining the chamber. So I'm not telling you, hey, go join the Chamber of Commerce and you're going to do great. No. I had to work the system. But like, for example, faux finishes. Here we go. I've got a picture here of some faux finishes somewhere. There you go. There's a nice little decorative faux finish. Doesn't that look good? At the big monthly chamber luncheons, I would give away a free room to be painted with a faux finish accent. So I would do like a accent wall or a column like what you're seeing here in this picture. I think this is a fireplace mantle. That's what that is. Okay, so this is a wall, and it's the fireplace, and there's an inset there where the fireplace is, and so probably the whole wall around the fireplace is done. But anyway, since I was giving away a free freaking room to paint and a faux finish, I always made sure that whoever's doing the announcements knew that I was giving away a free faux finish. And if they would just emphasize that there was a free faux finish, that it would, they would get a rise out of the audience every time. And so some of these chamber people were really cool. They would like stand up in the chair and go, free faux finish. And so you just got to know how to work your opportunities. I certainly did. And the majority of my business from that point on was at least closer to Arlington and Mansfield. And so there we go. While I have this picture pulled up, faux finish, I want everyone to know, notice how nice that faux finish looks, first and foremost. Faux finishes still look great. Faux finishes could very much still be in style in your home. Don't get caught up in the trends. The reason why paint trends cycle is because there's only so many available. That's how we are. We like new stuff as humans. So, make your house painting new to you. Okay? And don't worry about if someone else already did it before or not. And when it comes to the faux finishes, for example, don't be afraid to do a faux finish or have me do a faux finish. Don't hire just anyone. That's what happened to faux finishes, honestly, is they became so popular that everybody started doing them and nobody could do them right. And so they became ugly. And so people were even going to restaurants and going, ugh, that looks ugly. I don't even know why people like that faux finish stuff. That stuff looks ugly. All right, so there you go. Okay, back to this. This is Sherwin-Williams Products, exterior super paint. That's primarily what I've used for 15, 16 years, ever since I switched. I used to use everything Kelly Moore. Sherwin-Williams basically duplicated Kelly Moore's best products as a genius move on Sherwin-Williams' part. Prior to that, 15, 16, 17 years ago, Sherwin-Williams didn't have professional products. Sherwin-Williams was seen as a cheap paint. Home builders used their paint, kind of like Monarch paint still is known for. Here's your colors here. It's a much brighter red, but there's your purple. There's a nice green that goes with that red. And you can see that color combination. If you need your interior or your exterior paintage, you know who to call, 817-473-0310. Hop on with me here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Here's an exterior brick home that I painted. This is in the Walnut Estates neighborhood, off of... trying to remember the names of the streets over there. Doral. That's on Doral. It's on the corner of Doral anyway, it's over there. It's beautiful. Since I painted this house, it's really kind of funny because, I bet you there's been 10 houses painted since I painted this one. And I painted one in this neighborhood off of Riviera prior to this one. I don't know, probably like 5 years prior to this one. So I've got 2 in the neighborhood. Well, 3. I painted another one off of Riviera, down closer. No, it's Glen Abbey. One off of Glen Abbey, down closer to, why is it? That's not Doral there, whatever it is. But anyway, so I painted my first house black. There, that's the difference. I just painted that one black. I didn't do the brick. The one on Riviera, I did the brick about 5-6 years ago. And then this one, I lose track of time. This has been a few years at least. So this is a very nice looking house. There are probably 20 different videos on my YouTube channel of that house. There is a playlist. So if you just go to my playlist, you can see the playlist for that house also. All right, so here it is, exterior house painting excellence, 817-473-0310. Everybody, if you want to help support Christian painters freely. You can quickly head on over to the like button, like this video, like a couple of the other videos, and share the video. I'd sure appreciate it. If you need any additional artsy things, I paint on canvas, but I also do things like this, if nothing else, for your children's room, your game room. But I can also do a version of the, switch plates, that looks similar to what you're seeing in this picture here. But this is one of my specialties. This is a product called Old Masters Gel Stain Glaze. If you just have some ugly, beat up cabinets in your bathroom, this is one way to make those cabinets look just night and day better. I'm gonna take this off real quick and show you my brochure. There are pictures on my Facebook page, but this is a brochure that I had made years ago, and you can see before and after. Now this is very dark, but this cabinet, it's hard to see there, was actually beat up pretty bad. So anyway, that's one of my specialties there. If you have cabinets that need some love, we can prime them and paint them. If you want them to maintain that nice stained look, then we can restain them. All right, so that's the deal right here, Christian Painters on YouTube. If I'm not working, meaning if I'm not painting on the job, then I'm going to be sitting here on the job. And that's how it's going to work. I'm pretty desperate. If I hadn't said that already, I'm going to say it again. And you're going to hear me say it a few more times. I'm pretty desperate. I keep my grandson 3 and 4 days a week by myself. I'm only available to work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So in 3 days, I can get a 1-story exterior painted. Like I can paint a 1-story exterior in 3 long days. And if it takes me more than that, then I'll just finish up in part of a day on Thursday, and boom, we're good. So I can do a small 1-story. I can still do 2 stories or bigger houses exterior. It's just going to take me 2 weeks to do it. And I could shorten that time if Jerry, my main painter, or one of my other painters happens to be available at that time. But the truth is right now I'm estimating jobs just to do myself Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if I'm not on the job painting, then I'm going to be right here on YouTube and Facebook making myself available for free estimates, hopefully from people here in South Arlington and Mansfield, and I'll go paint your job because I really need the money. But if I'm not painting, I'll be here to offer free estimates, free color consultation, free house painting consultation. And I hope I don't wear everyone out. I fully intend on upgrading the studio. And once I do upgrade the studio, then at that time, I fully intend on having guests. Okay? Like I told you before, I used to send all my flooring business to David Lockhart for years. David Lockhart is still around, I'm sure. Who knows? If he is, somebody say hi to David for me. Share my love. And David, hit me up. But most recently, I haven't talked to the people over at the flooring barn, the floor barn. They had a Mansfield location, and that's how they came to my attention. I don't know how I missed them in Burleson because I've done a ton of work in Burleson, including I used to recommend Massey floors in Burleson for years until that kind of the dad died and the son kind of just I don't know, honestly. I think I moved on to the floor barn because they had a Mansfield location and a Burleson location, and they were wanting to work together. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm networking with other businesses, is when people are wanting to work together. So again, I can have all of those people on this show. I can have the Arlington plumbing surgeon, Willie, sorry, Willie, your last name's not coming to me right now. But anyway, I can have genuine, helpful guests on this show. And together, like I can interview them for an hour maybe, kind of let it drag on, while I encourage people to come on and ask plumbing questions or ask flooring questions. And I'm going to make sure that they know I want, my guests to speak honestly as possible with my customers, with people watching us here on YouTube, which right now there are 3 of you. So all 3 of you, if you have just a minute, say hi in the comments. That would be awesome. Unless one of you is Ryan, because that would be Ryan and 2 others. If my cousin, Robert, for the record, is my cousin. Hello, cuz. I love you, baby. I doubt he's still with us. I've been chatting for an hour now. But nevertheless, that's what's going on, is I really, truly, desperately need your business. So thank you for hiring me when you need a professional painter. Obviously, I can only do small jobs. If you need your complete interior painted, wall, ceiling, trim, and doors, you probably need it done within the next week. That's the thing I always prided myself on, is I could do a full interior like that in 5 days. Boom. And that's part of what you were hiring me for. That's what you needed. You needed me to get that job done in 5 days, not 6 or 7. That's 2 weeks. But 5 days, Monday through Friday, boom, I'm out of there. You're back to your home. And there's value in that, a lot of value. And I can't offer that right now. But if it's a 3-day job, like say, for example, the walls that you see in this room. Let's see here. I'm waiting for it to show up on my monitor. There's a lot of trim in these on these walls. You got wainscot trim below the chair rail. You've got it going down the hallway there. But even 3 rooms like that, wall, ceiling, trim, doors, I can get that done in 3 days. No problem. And, I need the money. So if you need 3 rooms painted, please consider contacting Christian Painters and giving me an opportunity to estimate that paint work for you here live on StreamYard, and then come out and do the work for you. I would genuinely appreciate it, and I would be able to give you 100%. You see, if it's a giant job that I just can't, I'm not set up to do, I wouldn't be able to give you 100%. So I just need real jobs, but smaller jobs. So what's that mean? If you just have one sheetrock repair in your ceiling because you've got a loose beam and it's falling and half of your ceiling's falling, no, I can't. I'm not the guy. Yeah, I paint. Do I do sheetrock repairs? Of course I can do sheetrock repairs. Do I want to? No, nobody wants to do sheetrock repairs. Why? Because people don't pay enough. People think that sheetrock repairs are like spackling nail holes or something. Oh, it's just something you knock out real quick. Hey, while you're here, can you knock out that repair real quick? Well, nope. The answer is no. I cannot knock out that repair real quick. But let me tell you what I can do real quick, really fast. I can get you into colors. Those thousands of colors you see there on the wall behind me, I can get you through every one of them and into the colors that you are going to enjoy for the next years of your life very fast, because I know them all. I can get you through it quickly. So for 10 minutes, that is an option there, Ryan. For 10 minutes, $10, you just send it to my Venmo, and we can FaceTime and not do the StreamYard. But for free, we can do the StreamYard. Why? Because this channel is monetized, and I can't just sit here and do nothing hoping my freaking phone is going to ring and hoping that I can get a job that pays decent, and then hoping that I can afford a studio so that I can upgrade my my studio and have better presentations. Those are all a million excuses that I have used and could continue to use to not be doing this. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. Thank you very much for joining me tomorrow. I'm going to schedule this event and you'll see it show up on my YouTube and on Facebook. Please go to the YouTube channel and click notify me. If you want to support Christian painters, go to the YouTube channel and click subscribe and notify all. So you'll hit subscribe and then that little optional pop up where the bell, because you click the bell to subscribe, and you'll hit notify all. And in that way, you'll be notified of all these videos. And I would genuinely appreciate you supporting Christian painters. I really need the help. Not because of any other reason than that when you keep a child by yourself 3 and 4 days a week, it costs a lot of money. And I don't have the ability to like be working or even thinking about work. I give my grandson 100% of my time, energy, and attention 3 and 4 days a week, every week. And sometimes more than that, you know, when he's sick and special occasions and things. So again, thank you very much to each and every one of over 3,000 subscribers here on my Christian Painters YouTube channel. I've got, I don't know how many followers on the Christian Painters Facebook page, but I do want to encourage everyone on Facebook to please come over to my YouTube channel, hit subscribe, hit notify all, like my videos and share them back over on your Facebook page. That would help me a bunch. So thank you very much for watching tonight, and tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. I'll be back Wednesday at 10 a.m. and I'll be back Thursday at 10 a.m. I'm going to do this for at least 2 hours, probably 4 hours. I might go 2 hours, take a break, eat lunch, and come back on and do another 2-hour program. But until I have work, this is my job. I'm going to sit right here and make myself available to anyone with questions, anyone who would like to hop on and show me your home for a free estimate, which Ryan is going to do tomorrow. So everybody tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to go look at Ryan's home and give him a free estimate and even talk about some colors. And again, Ryan, I can help you find a contractor no matter where you're at. I have a couple of little systems of how I do that that are legit, and it'll totally make sense to you. And you go, why didn't I think of that? And you probably already did. You just, need me to remind you and confirm that, yeah, that's how you would go about finding a painter, and know a couple of little tricks. So, I tell you the simplicity of what to look for and what to expect, and what the red flags are. And again, it's not like you don't already know, but if I can confirm them for you and instill confidence in you to hire a contractor in a way that's going to benefit you the most, as well as the contractor. You want to benefit the contractor, but you got to take care of yourself and not choose the wrong contractor. That's easy to do in this profession. All right, so with that, we started the show with X610 Chill, my buddy Dave Jarvis, and we will end the show with X610 Chill, Dave's Boutique. We'll see y'all tomorrow.